Hello, everyone. What's going on? My name is Timpedia. Welcome back to the TNT podcast. Only 3 weeks.
Something with 3 digits in it.
Episode. Sorry, I went through a tunnel.
Went through a tunnel
Let's start
there.
it clearly, though, right?
We're finally back. By finally, I mean we're only 1 week later from our 2-week, every other week schedule.
We will stick to this eventually.
Maybe in 20 years when my son moves out, then I'll be able to.
Back.
Then once Henry moves out, goes to college, we'll go back to recording weekly.
Yeah, and that's assuming no one else has children or anything like that, so it's fine.
Yeah, easy peasy.
But we actually don't have a ton this week. I'm gonna jinx it.
Our watch plate is going to be majority. Listeners, you already know what's going on.
Yeah, this is the normal. This is the new normal. Just learn to accept it.
Just learn to accept it.
No, but this is actually I want to start off with the one news article to rule them all. You know, like this is the one thing that really frustrated me. Oh yeah, wait.
Actual real news, the $1 million story.
Before we get in, by the way,
fuck intros, bro. We're getting into this fucking ring shit, bro.
On my right.
Oh my god,
fuck shit, I forgot. I'm Friedman. Also,
everybody knows us.
No, they don't.
Everybody knows Friedman. Everybody knows me, just Tyler.
What about that first-time listener who's listening?
I was just going to say, what about the
first-time listener?
Well,
sure.
So the first-time listeners, Freeman and I like the game Magic the Gathering, and I wanted to talk about a big news story that happened right after the last recording, but also the frustration.
And you first-time listeners, this is when just Tyler takes a fucking nap.
Just one nap. So for those of you who don't know, the Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering set came out about 6 weeks ago, and the whole big news headline thing is that there is a one of one, only one in existence, the One Ring alternate art card that is Elven script and everything like that, and it's the only one in existence, and it was in a collector's booster pack somewhere in the world. It was actually found. Freeman, hilariously enough, I don't know if you watched, the professor did a video like 3 days before this where he was like, guys, conspiracy theory time. It's going to be in the winter, summer, in the holiday kit special thing that we have no details on yet. They're holding it back until then to sell more packs. And then like 2 days later, it's like, nope, we found it.
It wasn't just like someone randomly posting. It got PSA rated, and that's how everyone found out.
Yeah. So whoever opened this, I don't believe we know who it is, but frankly, I hope we don't, because good on them. Just sell it and be done. A collector in Toronto immediately opened the card and immediately sent it to the PSA to be sealed and graded. Actually, literally the best move you could make. So the One Ring is now locked and graded at a 9 out of 10, which
pretty good.
From my understanding is basically you basically can't beat a 9.5 or a 9.
You fucking can't. As someone who got something graded.
Yeah. 9.5 or 10 is like it came off the printer and the printer was running perfectly that day. Not even it went straight into a pack and the pack was never damaged or anything. Like, no, it's pretty close to impossible, especially, funny enough, especially when you consider that this card was printed and shown off before it was put in a pack. So that means it was handled.
I didn't know they did that.
Remember, there was a promotional video where they showed off the One Ring before putting it in a pack. And funny enough, people thought that they could see that it was curled in the video. But yeah, so the One Ring has been found, and the highest bounty at the time was $2 million. So
Jesus,
pretty easy to assume that whoever got this is going to end up with at least a solid $1 million. There were multiple. I think I heard one of the famous football players who plays Magic, like Cassius Marsh or something, offered like $500 and a trip to California to like give him the card, and then it was like Card Kingdom or somebody in Europe was offering a straight $1 million, and then I heard $2 million was the final highest bounty. So
this isn't fair.
I mean, this Magic packs are lottery tickets, except this time it was an actual real lottery ticket.
Funny enough, though, the regular editions of the One Ring are even base going for like $50+ now, so it's not like
it's destroying formats. This card is either going to get banned or like
No,
The
it's
One
just gonna
Ring
get banned.
mechanic it's probably gonna get banned.
It's gonna get banned or gonna get banned.
Funny enough, I would not have said that this card was really that good, but I was thinking about it purely from Commander. Although, since
Oh
the
yeah, I forgot
last
about
time,
the idea of casting a second one to get rid of the first one was
yeah,
problematic.
funny Freeman, very quick minor detour. The MTG Goldfish podcast was talking this week about how you could nerf the card, and it makes a lot of sense to me if the burden counters were on you as a player, not the card. That would
Like
basically
experience counters.
completely negate. Yeah, exactly. That would have completely negated the problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're not. I didn't want to go down the rabbit hole. The cards found, and funny enough, packs. The price of packs tanked a little bit, and then steadily just crept back up because people went, "Wait a minute,
There's still Lord of the Rings cards in these packs.
these Lord of the Rings cards are actually still pretty valuable and good, even though we found the One Ring." Like there is some good. This is similar to the Warhammer 40k Commander sets decks that came out last year. The power level of this Lord of the Rings set is pretty high. I actually bought one of the Commander decks and tweaked it myself. I also bought a copy of the One Ring for my Life Gain deck, and I'm also brainstorming at least one other Commander deck from the set. The Lord of the Rings set seems to have been a smash success, and that is what the main thrust of what I wanted to talk about was. Because when I put this in the show notes weeks ago, I put One Ring found, fuck investors. As we've talked about on here before, Hasbro is literally like, you know the meme of the farmer going with like 6 buckets to the dead cow? It's like a political cartoon thing that got turned into a meme.
Yeah, the over milking shit.
Yeah. That is, I am really terrified, Freeman, of where we go next, because Lord of the Rings must, and I can't emphasize this enough, Freeman, I know you've seen also how Morrow will say, "Oh, this was the best-selling set of all time," like every other set.
Like, this is the bigger jump than any of their previous best-selling set.
This must be an impossibly high bar. There were so many posts on the Magic subreddit of, "I'm a Lord of the Rings fan, buying Lord of the Rings cards just because I love Lord of the Rings. Teach me Magic." Like, this must be the biggest sell. Until this set goes out of print, this is going to be an insane amount of money that Wizards is getting from this set.
Yeah,
and
I will reiterate the point that the online community of Magic is like the loud minority. A majority of Magic players do not post about shit. They play kitchen table, and this is a kitchen table set if I ever saw one.
Yes. Insane. And what frustrates me is because on one hand, Freeman, we're going directly into Commander Masters spoilers, which is a vastly overcharged set.
Oh, Wizards in hot water over this shit. Tyler, from a non-Magic player's perspective, if you have a company, Wizards, who's known for printing premium products, and they announce this entire line, and they double the price from the last time they released some shit like this, would you think it would be a premium product?
Well, I wasn't even going to touch on this, but...
Oh, I'm touching on this.
Would I think it's a premium product, but I know that they have?
If you know that they release premium products that are more expensive than the usual, and they announce this thing is double the price of what it is.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, so they do that, then they reveal it, nothing's premium about it. People keep asking, well, what makes this premium? And Wizards' official stance is, it's not a premium product.
But
we're charging double for
twice as much.
Infuriating.
What, they can't keep getting away with this.
Well, so the main thing I wanted to bring up here is it is depressing as fuck for me to think about how Hasbro's going to get on their quarterly earnings and go, "Oh my god, the Lord of the Rings set is by far the most successful thing Wizards of the Coast has ever done." And the immediate question from investors is going to be, "Well, how are you going to top that and give me my return again?" And I genuinely worry, because there is nothing, like, I don't know, where do you go from here? Like, Universes Beyond has proven, like, we have Doctor Who Commander decks coming in a few months. We have, we had Street Fighter. We started with Warhammer. Like, there are clearly more things in the pipeline like this. We had Fortnite Secret Lair, hell. But I don't know what you could possibly do outside of like a Star Wars set or something insane like that, to genuinely to top a Lord of the Rings set like this.
Yeah, I
I
feel like
don't
you gotta dip into
understand,
Disney to go bigger.
and I'm genuinely worried about what their Hasbro is going to push Wizards to do to find a way to beat this number. Because I'm sure, I can't stress enough. I know I've said it so many times. The sales numbers must be insane. Freeman, when the Ohio guys were here and we went to the game store for like an hour that one day, I think I told you, because you weren't here, but we went to the store that you, me, and Leslie have played at a couple times.
Yeah.
So they had a couple set boosters of Lord of the Rings. And I went, oh, do you have any collector boosters? And he's like, nah, man, those were gone within a day. Anytime I've gotten them in, they're gone within 24 hours. Like, ravenous for these cards. I can't even imagine. And
yeah, it's going to be tricky because I think Gavin's already on record saying that they are diluting the brand by printing too much. So they're aware that they need to start cutting back, but they also said this 3 months ago and they work on a 9-month pipeline. So he's like, yeah, the cutbacks aren't coming for another 3 quarters. So,
but what are the cutbacks even going to look like? Because Commander Masters is not a cutback. I know
that's not a cutback,
but I'm just saying, like, what? How does Wizards make the money for Hasbro? Does that mean prices go up in exchange for getting less cards?
That's the problem. Like, they're milking the golden goose, and they're like, Wizards is aware that it's getting milked, and Hasbro's just like, we don't care. Value
Hasbro's
now.
like, money, money, money.
I don't give a shit how long the game has gone on for. If it can go on 3 more months, it can print money.
It's just frustrating because, like, playing Magic is fun right now. Like, having the Ohio guys here for that long weekend, we played a lot of games, and it was overall a pretty fun experience. There's cool cards. But at the same time, like, Friedman, looking at the new cards from Commander decks in the last day, like, yeah, the new slivers, they're not super powerful, but at least they're slivers. They're just, here's a keyword on all slivers, right?
Yeah, and they all suck.
Sure, but they're simple cards. Did you look at some of the cards from this Planeswalker deck that got spoiled today?
No, I haven't seen it.
Jesus, it's so many words on these Magic cards. Just stop.
They gotta print bigger and newer, so you buy the bigger, newer card.
We had a conversation about this while we were playing Magic last weekend, 2 weekends ago, and I feel like I'm in a place where my deck building is just like rebelling against this whole thing. Like, I just refuse to start playing cards with like 5 paragraphs of text on them. I just want to make fun decks that involve simple cards and like do good with them.
Not gonna lie, the biggest issue I had all weekend was trying to remember what everyone's commanders did because they all had 3 effects. And some people had multiple commanders with 3 effects.
Yeah, except me. But yeah, Brandon playing that new food deck was like, what is...
I was like, what are any of your cards doing?
How many things do these hobbits from Lord of the Rings do? Like, anyway, we don't have to stay on this, but I can't stress enough how frustrating it is that it feels like Magic design is overall in a good place, but I know for a fact Hasbro is getting ready to turn the screws even harder. And it just makes me wish Wizards could just break free of this horrible, shitty company.
Yeah.
Speaking of horrible, shitty companies.
Horrible, shitty companies.
So there's a bunch of Microsoft news. It's mostly related to the acquisition of Activision, but I just wanted to cover at least some of it. So a judge in, California?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Denied the preliminary request for an injunction from the FTC, which means that Microsoft can go ahead with trying to do the acquisition, which the FTC can still step in and then fight to stop. But at a very first step, they have not tripped and fallen over immediately. The judge put out this statement of like, oh yeah, Microsoft says has sworn up and down they're gonna be really fair and balanced and all this jazz. Whatever. My biggest thing about this is I still cannot fathom why any person on planet Earth is like, Activision, that's a company that has no downsides to acquiring.
Yeah, right. That is interesting.
The thing is, there's a massive upside to acquiring, and like I don't want to get into flame wars. I don't want to be involved in the console war on the internet. But every time I see any article posted, someone always says, "Why is it okay for Sony to buy exclusives, but it's not okay for Microsoft to buy exclusives?" Everyone needs to understand. If you took all digital sales of all Sony exclusives in the last year, it's still less than half of digital sales of Call of Duty on Sony platform. Like, this is the biggest purchase in video game history. And I don't think anyone understands the gravity when people are like, "Oh, why can't Microsoft buy exclusives?"
Oh, I don't even care about that. I'm saying it's stupid to buy Activision.
Oh, I'm saying the money is so it makes it worth it. Like, you have to realize, like given how shitty Activision is, picture how big the money is to make that garbage company.
Oh, no,
worth it.
Freeman. I'm aware that Microsoft has financial reasons to do this. I'm just saying, like, as someone who follows the news cycle at all, like, between Bobby Kotick being, like, the most hated CEO on the planet, Activision having nothing outside of Call of Duty at all worth anything, and Blizzard's side of the business being the biggest PR disaster, like, they're trying it's like they're trying to win an Olympic trophy, and if anyone tries to challenge them, they're like, haha, new sexual assault allegations, gotcha beat. Like like it
Like, they're speedrunning a live service game is what you're telling me.
it's so
Yeah,
pathetic.
exactly.
And like from a PR perspective, it's like, why would you want to? But yes, I know Call of Duty is still,
Because the money printer go burr.
because as much as
Yeah.
Fortnite prints infinite money, and as much as GTA is infinite money, and God of War is the biggest thing and the biggest big, like, nothing consistently year over year matches Call of Duty and sports games. It's just that is the world.
Before I start talking about bullet point 3, I'm going to do something very unprofessional here and disappear from the channel to see if I can get the soundboard working before the Weeb's shit. But
Okay.
feel free to keep going. I'll be
Man,
right
is it
back.
that important? Is it?
Oh, it's for this week, listeners.
Yeah,
you already know what it
you
is.
know why,
Oh
Tyler.
my god.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, but to that end, so the judge was like, "Oh, Microsoft son, like it."
Microsoft, shut the fuck up.
I said that once Freeman left.
Oh my god.
But as soon, like a week after this whole judge thing, Microsoft was like, "We have created a binding agreement with Sony that Call of Duty will not be exclusive."
For 10 years.
Is it only for 10 years?
I think it's just for 10 years.
Okay, so at the end, so within 5 years, it'll be a 6-month delay, and then by 8 years, no updates will happen. Whatever. Binding agreement. What? Who cares? It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, 10 years is probably. I don't know how Call of Duty extends past 10 years, but I'm sure they'll fucking find a way.
I just want to say Microsoft's biggest cop out with the argument that the judge bought into is Microsoft said that after acquisition they're going to make a cloud version available for Switch, proving that by buying Activision they're actually going to make it available on more platforms, not less.
I mean, hey, if Microsoft wants to make Activision make decisions that repair and that make Microsoft and Nintendo get along, that's fine in my mind.
I mean, let's be real, they're going to port the mobile version of Switch, but it just seems like such a weird argument.
But then even more out news involving Microsoft in this. So as of today, I didn't realize this. Xbox Gold is dead, and there is now a new service called Game Pass Core.
Hold up. I thought Game Pass came with Xbox Live Gold, or am I going crazy?
And now Xbox Gold is gone, so now Game Pass is just Game Pass, and this Game Pass now has this core level.
So does that mean normal online is free on Xbox now?
I don't know.
Do you now need Game Pass to get multiplayer?
Freeman, it's been so long since I've booted up an Xbox and used Xbox Live as a console thing that I genuinely didn't feel like clicking on the link and finding out.
Understandable.
But I just think it's wild to think that it has been 20 years since since Xbox Live was created, and now it's just just gone. It's just Game Pass now. Microsoft Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass.
Are you upset by that?
Not upset, but it's just a wild.
I feel like we get more value.
End of an era.
Oh, I'm sure it's more value, but I don't know. I still remember signing up for Gold or trying to find Tyler, remember when it was like Amazon would have deals where it was like buy a year of gold for $60 and everyone would buy that
Yeah.
card because
Yep.
it was cheaper than the 120 normal dollars, and it was like, hell yeah, I saved so much money.
Dude.
um,
It was an end of an era.
yeah. Speaking of
Fucking
end of it,
ripping open boxes so I can get 48-hour gold trials.
yo, and then just
Needed
stack
that.
those. Yes. And to go along with that, I don't think it's related, but Major Nelson, one of the biggest faces of Xbox for a very long time, has also announced that he's stepping down. So
He's been around for a fucking hot minute.
big changes coming at Microsoft Corporation.
At least on the game side.
Yeah.
Let's see if those pay off, especially after Starfield launch.
Oh my God. I know we joked about it so much last podcast about the whole like
Still funny.
we're sending office people to work on Starfield, but it's genuinely going to be crazy. Like, I feel like a lot honestly hinges on Starfield's launch, because I know that like Skyrim is still like the biggest thing and the biggest ever, but like Starfield really is going to mean a lot for Bethesda, especially after Fallout 76.
So, big question here. Two parallel worlds here. One where Starfield succeeds and one where it fails. What's the impact on Elder Scrolls 7 or 6?
I don't think there's an impact either way. I don't think even if no one bought a copy of Starfield, I don't think that would move the needle on what happens with 6.
All right.
Because here's the thing, 6 hasn't started no matter what, and if Microsoft owns Bethesda, then why do they rush to put it out when they could just re-release Skyrim again a year later and be like, okay, here's your fix for another year, buy us more time.
I'm wondering if it's like it's a Microsoft tradition when you look at how Windows works, where every time they have a bad operating system, like, all right, the next one has to be great. We're going to slow it down. It's going to be perfect. And they come out with a good OS, and they're like, all right, that's great. Let's get the next one out. Oh, shit. It messed up. It messed up. Shit. Guys, we got to work real hard on the next one to make sure it's right. So my question is,
no,
if it fails, will 6 be better?
Freeman, here's the other way to look at it. Every Bethesda game has failed at launch, quote unquote. It's just a question of how much does it recover or not.
Fallout 76 ever bounce back, or is it still?
I think
like,
it bounced
hated?
back somewhat. Not like to any great degree, but it. Well, also that's the middle of the PR nightmare. But like, if you can't take that logic though, because wasn't before that was Fallout 4, and then before that was Skyrim. So like that's a pretty good game into a pretty good game.
Yeah.
Am I getting the timeline right on those?
But now that they're part of Microsoft, they're going to start adopting Microsoft traditions, right?
Yeah, but does that start with 76 or does that start with Starfield because they acquired them before Starfield? So is Starfield the good start or the bad start?
Yeah, you're right. This pattern would indicate that Starfield's going to be a good game, and that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to just be shit.
But again, it doesn't matter if Elder Scrolls 6 is shit. It's still going to be the biggest thing ever.
That is correct. When
Like,
it launches
everyone
on all
says,
platforms, including
you know what's
Amazon
funny?
Alexa.
Everyone says, "Oh man, Skyrim's so good. Oblivion was terrible," and yet everyone said, "Oh, Oblivion's so good. Morrowind was terrible." Like, it just keeps going backwards, revisionist history. But whatever's the new thing is good, and whatever the last thing was bad. But Skyrim was still the biggest thing on the fucking planet.
But I like how with Pokemon it's the opposite. That every new Pokemon game is awful until it's 3 gens out, and then everyone's like, "Damn, that game was underrated."
That game was amazing.
Like, we're finally gonna reach the era where you're like, "Man, Pokemon X and Y was an underrated gem." Which I'll actually agree.
Speaking, I swear this is a sensible transition when you understand where I'm going. Speaking of underrated gems, we already had the Writers Guild on strike in Hollywood, and now the Actors Guild is on strike. So get ready for more underrated gems of indie productions that are done by people who aren't in unions or people who are still allowed to do filming and things like that. Because, boy, oh boy, Hollywood is really grinding to a fucking halt right now.
Oh, it's actually really funny you mentioned that. Just a quick side note on that. Are you guys familiar with Red Letter Media by chance?
Yes. Yeah.
They did a video recently where they talked about like how they went on Tubi and they found like a bunch of like movies from people who like used like I don't know, like open source, like words that aren't trademarked, like Amityville or Shark or whatever. And there's like they literally compiled a list of like fucking 10 movies each, at least, of each of these movies or each of these words that had it in there. It's fucking
Amazing.
crazy. And some of them overlapped, like the Amityville like shark horror or some shit like that. Like it was wild. Highly recommend listeners watch it. It's funny. But you get stupid shit like this when this happens.
I just so the other thing was I was looking for headlines and it was about how season 2 of House of the Dragon is still working, and that's because most of the cast is British and they're filming in Britain.
Oh shit, they're not part of the guild.
Well, they're part of their own British guild, and legally, both apparently there's like contracts in place that both both unions cannot strike at the same time. So the British actors have to keep working, while at least cannot strike, while the American actors are on strike. So now you know that every Hollywood production is like, okay, where can we hire all these British people to do our shit now while all of our actors and writers are on strike?
HBO with their Harry Potter series is starting to look pretty good right
now. No. But get ready for a drought of stuff in the near future, because boy, oh boy, this is who knows how long this is going to go. Or to quote some film executive, we'll just wait for them to have to pay rent, and then they'll be really screwed and they'll have to come to the table.
Okay. Sure.
I actually can't wait to watch Ron Perlman murder this executive. It's going to be hilarious.
God.
Right.
We talk about cage matches between like Elon and Zuck, and it's like, can't we just see some frail old executive who no one needs in the world just get slaughtered by Ron Perlman? Like, that'd be pretty cool.
I would personally pay Ron Perlman a sub sandwich to do this. I will drive out. Ron Perlman, if for somehow you're listening to this, I will go to Longfellows in Morristown.
Imagine if this got clipped and someone sent it to Ron.
Bet. I would personally go out to Ron Perlman's house wherever he lived, give him a fucking sandwich for him to go fight a fucking old crusty ass exec.
Watch him tweet out. I don't know who this Just Tyler person is, but you're on.
But you're on. Yo, hell yeah.
I don't know if you guys I saw on Reddit earlier today, there was a video of someone, just speaking of people who have way too much money to exist, someone spray painting, some activists spray painting a yacht owned by the heir to the Walmart fortune, and when I tell you the yacht looked like it was bigger than my house, like by a noticeable amount, that's when you know some people have too much money.
Facts.
All right, let's see what this yacht looks like.
Speaking of people who have too much money to do good things with,
damn,
Disney has basically announced, hey everybody, we're going to start cutting back on our spending and investment on Marvel and Star Wars. I don't remember where I read this. It was a couple days ago, like on Reddit or something, but it was like, yeah, no shit, you should have done that a while ago. And the amount of comments that were like, yeah, I stopped watching Marvel after Endgame. It's like, yeah, that seems like pretty much when everything stopped. Like, for a lot of people, Endgame was like the can't really care anymore. We did the thing. And then Star Wars has just, like, they went way too crazy with, like, Star Wars was like, we're going to cut back. And then The Mandalorian was big, and they're like, ooh, Disney Plus shows. And you know, there's some good ones, like Mandalorian. Val and I actually still didn't finish the newest season of Mandalorian. I keep forgetting about that, honestly. And, like, Andor was good, from what I hear, but we also only watched one episode of Andor.
Ahsoka might be good. We don't know.
Ahsoka's coming. The animation stuff, like Bad Batch, is supposed to be good.
Honestly, it's just Book of Boba ruined it for
everyone. Book of Boba really was like the why did you do this? This was actively
Book of Boba
bad.
Ruined it for everybody.
Book of Boba reminded everyone that Star Wars wasn't perfect, and then everyone was immediately like, "Okay, close the book." Like,
but nah, see, but Tyler was vindicated though.
What do you
for
mean?
Why? Because you knew it was
years.
going to be bad when it started.
Cause fucking listen, Boba always sucked. I said this from day
No,
one
but
since I was a
no,
little
come
fucking
on.
kid. Nah, shut up, Tim.
How dare you say
No.
something so
Tyler,
factually true, Tyler? I'm
there's
actually in agreement with you. I didn't get the Boba hype when I was a kid.
I'm not
Good.
even trying to defend the Boba hype. I'm just saying when Tamura Morrison showed up in Mando season 2 and that Boba Fett walked on screen, that was hype shit. And then they took
Sure.
that and they were like, what if we made Spy Kids on Tatooine with Boba Fett? And it's like, no, that was not what you were supposed to do.
That was not what you were supposed to do.
Um,
Oh no, I get you.
like
I
him
get you,
doing
but
like
you know what?
the gun kata shit where he was like doing the steps and shoot and like shooting down the transports with the rocket and just punching stormtroopers, like that was fucking badass.
And then they just forgot
Yeah.
about that during his show.
Seriously, but then they were like, oh, but he's like, oh, he's in a back to tank. He's so.
They should have literally
back.
just kept it at that cameo because then that would have like been like fine, but they didn't.
I was never like, we need more Boba, and then they were like, okay, cool, show he's gonna be a
Nah,
crime boss.
I'm gonna lump you in there with the rest of the Star Wars fans.
Whatever.
You are the Star Wars guy after all, you know. Like
Honestly, in our group, Luigi's that guy now. Like he's the one
Yeah,
who
he
watched.
is.
He watched
knows
all
the
the
deep lore.
animated shows. Like,
I mean, I watched all the animated shows.
yeah. So
now,
fuck
too.
off. You're the Star Wars guy.
Yeah,
on
you're
this
number
podcast.
2.
I am now that. Listen, I don't have every single Star Wars paperback novel
I don't
on like
either.
dedicated. Excuse me.
I don't either.
Excuse you.
That's all fan fiction. It's not real.
Yeah, it's all
That's
fan
all
fiction,
fan
Tyler.
fiction now.
It's all non-canon fan fiction.
Wow, that is wild. Like every time, like because if I go in there
Oh
to
my
take
God.
like a call or whatever, and I look at that shelf, I'm like, I literally be like, damn, all these fucking books aren't.
Unironically,
Why are you fucking doing this, Tyler?
Like goddamn, I'm like, yo, it's a whole shelf. Like listeners, like Tim was about that life, y'all know.
Why is
But
this
when I tell you he was
what
about
brought
that
this
life,
on?
what?
the
It's
fuck?
what,
Listen,
man?
if we get 500 likes in the video, Tim's gonna post a picture of just the
Yes.
wall of Star Wars books.
Yes,
Oh my
please.
God.
I will take it without him knowing until it's too late.
Oh my God. Anyway, so Marvel and Star Wars are off the menu for Disney because they're bad.
Good. We need more live action
Yeah.
remakes of cartoons that people already like.
They do need. I will say, if they just learn to let off the gas just a little bit and just make quality over quantity, I think it would be fine.
Shareholders want money.
Man, you know what's funny? Like, here's a thought. Marvel got to Endgame by, for most of its life, they did 1, maybe 2 movies a year, and it was only in the last 3 years where they really hit the gas, which made sense leading up to Infinity War and Endgame.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, let's have some space. Nah, just keep pedal to the metal. Like,
It was fine when you had to watch 5 movies between Avengers. Now it's like, okay, I got 4 shows, 6 movies, but you have to watch them in a specific order because the shows link to the movies.
God forbid you watched Doctor Strange 2 and then went back and were like, "Oh, watch the TV show WandaVision." It's like, "Oh no, wait. This was the wrong way." Like, it's funny. I think about the future where when Henry's old enough to watch these, I would love to rewatch all the Marvel movies up to Endgame with him. And then he's going to be like, "Dad, it's been like 2 months to get here. I want to keep going." And I'm going to be like, "Cool, have fun, bye." I don't need anything else. Like, I'm good.
I mean, honestly, I was doing that with my dad because he was like, "How do I need to watch the big Avengers?" I'm like, "Well, here's the list." So it was like, I'd come over on the weekends and he'd be watching some of them, and I think he made it up to like Age of Ultron, and now he's just like stalled. But
which is fair.
Like walking other people through the first 3 phases of Marvel is still probably like a fun thing to do in the future.
Phase 3 was Infinity War Endgame.
It's gonna be just like showing people the first 6 Star Wars movies and then stopping.
Yes. But anyway, so yeah, clearly we all agree with Disney's tactic of cutting back on these 2 way overdone franchises at this point. And then speaking of franchises that need help, this is just all negative today. Like, this is really depressing. So yeah, this is the show. Sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't clear until you said that.
Sorry,
so,
listeners. The show. Oh, actually, you say it. Go ahead.
Well, so Witcher 3 came out, the season Witcher 3, the season 3. I have no interest in watching. I didn't even watch season 2, but I
Yeah, I
mostly
haven't
just
watched
put it
2
on
either.
here because this is Henry Cavill's like last season, and everyone I think is already jumping ship from the show, and they've said, "Hey, we're definitely going to totally do more shows or more seasons." And everyone's like, "Why would I even care? Why is there a world where I care because Henry Cavill won't be in them?"
That is true. Yeah, I was thinking about watching it, and I was like, man, you know what? Like, why? Like, what's the point? And then what was it? I think I asked Michelle. I was like, yo, like, the Witcher season 3 is out, right? She's like, yeah. She's like, do you want to watch it? I was like, honestly, I wasn't gonna
No.
watch it unless you were gonna watch it. And she's like,
Yeah.
I
I
wasn't
don't
gonna
want to
watch it unless
watch
you
it.
were gonna watch it.
Literally, we're like, I guess we ain't watching it. Literally what happened, and we ended up picking up a different show. But yeah, like I'm just not interested. I think they kind of butchered the story. I watched season 2. We watched season 2, and like I'll be honest, I forgot everything in it.
Yeah, I've heard
so,
it's pretty whatever.
so what you're saying is it's fine that I dropped after season 1.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Honestly, that's how I felt anyway because
Yeah.
I was after reading the first 2 books, like that's kind of how I felt about the books in general. I was like, the rest of the story is whatever.
That's fair.
So you know what? It might have been for the best. So
Yeah.
you're good.
But you know what? Why don't we go somewhere that's a little more happy and exciting?
No man.
Sounds like Japan. It's time for the Weeb shit.
Nothing bad ever happens there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
With Oppenheimer about to start this week.
Oh my god.
I keep seeing jokes about how it's gonna bomb in Japan, and I can't stand it.
Oh no, there
All right,
goes all of our
yeah, there we
Japanese
go. We're getting
listeners.
canceled. All right, we're never hitting those 500 likes. All right. Speaking of Japanese listeners, it's time for the Weeb shit. Let's get the short announcements out of the way, then we'll get to the big story. So we're at the start of the season. I feel like I say this every 3 months because I do, but everyone's watching the new shows. Not a lot. You expect that not a lot of stuff would get announced, but you're wrong. First and foremost, we already knew about this, but there's a series coming out called Freyren, which I know everyone's hyping up the source material. It's a fantasy series. It's not an isekai. But the big thing I want to point out here is one that Crunchyroll hyped up that they have it 3 months in advance, which they usually don't do for franchises. And then the second bit of news, if you thought I was hyped about Oshinoko having a 1 hour first episode, Freyren's first episode is 2 hours long. It's straight up a movie to get you into this series.
Wow.
So I am hyped. Most shows that do long first episodes, I've been a fan of. Like ReZero did it, Oshinoko did it. This one's gonna do it. I don't recall how many others did like the double length first episode, but like if a studio is willing to put that much into the first episode, it says something. And we'll find out in September when it premieres on Crunchyroll. In terms of other announcements, this one I was not expecting. So there was, I don't know what type of event it was in Japan. I think I had to do most of it just like light novels. But sort of online alternative Gun Gale Online, the show that came out like what 2016, 2017. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, a hot minute ago.
No one's talked about this. It was just a side story thing that takes place in the Sword Art Online universe. And what I'm guessing happened was Sword Art Online Alternative, the book series that the Sword Art author's working on now, where it's just he's retelling the plot of that first game, Sword Art Online. They adapted the first 2 floors into movies, then they skipped and adapted a different floor into a movie. And the reason they did that is because there's this whole arc that takes place on, I guess, like 5 to 10. I don't know. I'm making up numbers here. But they're waiting for him to finish writing those books. They can do a TV anime about it. But without anything else to make into movies or shows, they're like, how do we keep the SAO franchise like in people's minds here? What do we do? And someone's like, hey, like there's still like 3 more volumes of the Gun Gale Online manga that we didn't touch. So they're like, fuck it. We're doing another spinoff. So Gun Gale Online 2 is happening. Can't say I'm super excited for it because season 1 was just kind of, it was like a junk food show. It wasn't bad, but like it wasn't groundbreaking or anything.
Damn.
But
as someone who likes guns, I thought it was mid at best.
Yeah, it's just like how do we meme on battle royales, and like that's battle royales have memed on themselves since this show came out. So this is 100%. This is a sequel that isn't needed, but the concept of just this this girl calling her P90 P-chan and just like pulling up the old school Counter-Strike cheese strats. Still kind of entertaining. Not gonna lie, I will watch this. And then in terms of another show that Tim and I are definitely gonna watch, Laid Back Camp season 3. We got the announcement that this is completely moving studios, moving directors. And the director of seasons 1, 2 in the movie came with this whole statement like, I know the team at this other studio is going to really take over and they're going to own it and they're going to do a great job. And it was the most like canned response he could have given. It's more or less he just didn't want to work on it anymore. So we'll see what happens. The first poster's out. It still looks like Laid Back Camp. The characters, like their faces are a little rounder, but like I didn't notice it until people started complaining. So it'll probably be fine as long as they can keep the tone of the show.
Look, here's the honest truth. After the movie, would have been okay to stop.
Yeah, this is another season we didn't need.
Yeah, like if it turns out good, great, but like I'm a little hesitant because boy, by the end of that movie where they did very little camping and it was like, where camping at? It's like that fix, as we know and from other shows that we have watched recently, Freeman. Other shows seem to be picking up that mantle, so not sure how much we really need more camping at this point.
No? Yeah. Honestly,
we're entering the era where some of the real killers are being knocked off potentially better.
Actually, yeah.
Freeman, I'm specifically referencing a show that we are both watching on Thursdays with Val that might turn out to be a better Promised Neverland.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about Bocchi the Rock being better than KO.
I was also talking about that, but I'm also talking about Heavenly Delusion, so...
Honestly, we'll see how it plans out, because there is a show I haven't shown you guys that I think might be... It's in the same genre as both, and it might actually be better, but I didn't show you guys originally because I thought it was too weird, but I realized you've seen enough weird anime that you can probably handle it now.
We're deep enough in the culture.
Yeah, for real. We'll talk about it later. But with that said, it's time that we got to the main event here.
The main event.
As always, Reddit brings us the best part of the weeb shit every year. The Waifu Wars 2023 edition. The 10th best girl to happen. Best girl 10, ultra salty. I'm going to cut the music here so we can talk seriously about this. But you guys get the meme. This is my favorite time of year. Except... I don't know why. No one is upvoting the threads, and I keep missing them. Like, I've missed, like, maybe a quarter of every voting day because I just forget that it's happening.
For the last week, I haven't missed any more, but I missed a bunch.
And I haven't voted today yet, so I'm going to put my votes in real quick.
Big mistake. We're not doing it live. Don't worry.
No, we're not doing it live. I'm going to put my votes in real quick. It's a tough day, but Megumin is not up. It is, because Sabers versus Matoi Ryuko from Kill la Kill, and I'm...
All right, so easy answer here is all of my people that I vote for have been getting pretty... Like, I'm less than 50-50 on wins so far in the bracket.
Oh, like, shit, Aqua versus Nino.
I'm not doing too hot, but that's okay, because Violet's still in the running, so and that's what's important, so...
I can feel the salt coming out of today's brackets. Anyway... Let's talk real quick about the big players in this tournament. We still got most of the Konosuba girls in. I know who's number 1 seed. Oh my god, Chica from
Chica again is winning her
again.
Damn. All right, and then I think tomorrow we get. Oh no, it already happened. You're destroyed. Miku from Quintuplets.
Destroyed. Didn't all the quintuplets lose at this point, or they're about to probably?
Nino's about to get eliminated today.
Every time I see one, I'm like, I'm not gonna vote for the boys, but I know the boys are feeling this one right now.
So, like, I'm gonna be real with you here.
If I was paying attention, then yes.
2 of the quintuplets don't matter. The one who won, no one liked. There's two actually popular ones, Miku and Nino. And if Miku got smashed, there's no way Nino is beating her opponent.
Facts.
My only sad addition that is a change from last year is since Val and I recently watched all of Summertime Render, and like 3 of the characters from that all were in it. I'm actually kind of sad that all of them lost like in the 2nd or 3rd round. Like they all made it at least one, but they didn't make it super deep runs.
Oh shit! Nino's against Aqua. Yeah, she's murdered.
She's murdered.
Like, I'll say it. Recency bias is a very interesting thing. So like. You guys we all watch 86 here.
I was just about to say, oh my god, Freeman, it's so funny you say that. I was just going to say Anju and Vladilena are somehow still in the running when we're getting into like 32 left.
What I'm more shocked about here is like Anju's last opponent was
Tsukasa from fucking over the
moon. Like literal wife character. And I maybe
2-1.
I just really missed how many people watched 86 because I just like discussions were not that big for it. So I was under the impression it was underwatched, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's just like the mecha fans in the room are
Anju
like,
is...
yo, C2 lost. I'm gonna hype up the next most recent mecha anime that's eligible.
See, but Freeman, you say that, but wait, I gotta find it. Where was it? 02 got crushed by Vivi though.
Fucking good. She is not a good waifu, and I'm tired.
Yeah, I don't know why people keep saying that she is. I don't. Is it just the masochist, the like
it's
mommy step on me like crowd?
If you ride her, she'll kill you. It's that like it's like the kiss of death, but on another level.
Well, Vivi 2-1 her almost, even though she's 50 seed versus 15, and Vivi absolutely demolished, which is great. But now Vivi's gonna get beat by Roxy because fucking everyone riding Shoka Tensei too hard.
Well, first of all, Roxy's the best character in the show, and second of all,
untrue.
I'm actually mad because one of the days I missed, an important character lost by 14 votes. Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion lost to Tyler. You didn't watch No Game No Life, did you?
No, I didn't. I heard somewhat good things about it.
I like season 1, but it's way too overhyped. So like, without going too in depth, the show there's the two siblings, they're the main characters, and they run into this angel thing. She's literally boobs with wings, is how you describe her character. There is nothing else about her character, and she beat Asuka by 16 votes like 2 days ago. Livid reading this.
Damn.
I don't know where these fans are coming from.
Listen, the internet is wrong.
So like I said, I think I've been pretty good with my votes. There's a lot of things where I've lost.
Yeah, I got to stay close on this one. So all I know is with the way the brackets work out, I think Megumin and Hollow will only have to face each other if they're both in the finals. So Luigi and I will not have that hard decision that we
Well, you already had a hard decision, but you got curb stomped when Megumi went up against Hollow in like round 2.
Yo, that hurt. Like listeners who don't know, like back I think it was Best Girl 4, there was a lot of hate picking going on. So Megumi from Food Wars got promoted up to the finals just because she got like hate picked twice against otherwise too popular characters. So it's just a meme that she's like an ex-finalist and just never makes it past round 1 anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway. Freeman, hopefully that Jabril character who beat Asuka will get beat by Vladilena because that's her next opponent. So hopefully Mecha fans rise up.
I'll vote anyone against. The fact that she eliminated C2 is hilarious. So it does mean newer Mecha fans are beating out older Mecha fans here.
What the fuck?
I know.
Yeah, C2's not even a good waifu either. The fuck?
Yeah. I mean, she eats pizza, so that's kind of cool.
Not just pizza. This bitch exclusively eats fucking
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut. Like, I don't want to hear. Like, she's already inferior to like whoever. Like, come on.
Anyway, that's enough talking about this. By the time we record, we'll know who Best Girl is, and we can just be salty about the finals. Yeah, I'll play the music next time too. But that's it. Oh my god, I'm losing track of where my audio is. That's it for the Weeb shit.
Wow. So yeah, so now we just have watched and played stuff. There wasn't a ton of news. There's a lot to blitz through though, because the final stuff of the last anime season, talking about first impressions of the new season, we watched some movies.
There's some good stuff.
There's some stuff, keep it brief. But we can keep it brief because a lot of this is new anime that is just, hey, we're starting this and it seems okay. Freeman, did you fly to the moon? I forget.
I still have 4 episodes left to the end. The last episode I saw was, we've already come back from our hot springs trip, but now we're going to do the, what if we're both in the same bath together episode at the bathhouse. And I gotta say, I'm getting pissed off with season 2.
Oh,
like,
no.
there's no development happening. I don't like it. Like, it feels like we're
So
stuck.
I get that, and apparently that next season where they're doing like the high school thing is actual development.
Oh, thank God. All right.
Though the only way I know that is because that got posted to Reddit, even though it's not coming here anytime soon. It's already aired in Japan. So,
Wait, what?
yeah, the first episode was posted, or maybe it was because of an anime convention where they posted the first episode, but there was a thread for the new Tonikawa High School thing like 2 weeks ago on our anime. But it's not streaming legally anywhere.
I don't know why they even had a thread for this one. None of us could see it.
I still think the opening is still one of the biggest bangers of the year. Every time Tonikawa can't miss on these OPs, but
the anime airs in August, so
oh, cool. Okay,
so we may get it later.
So Tonikawa was good. I forget if I talked about it. I don't think you caught. I think that's why it's if you caught up, because you were supposed to, but.
Look, I've been keeping my back pocket because the show requires very little attention, so I can like watch it while I'm building Gundams.
That's okay. I can talk about a different romance show instead. Val and I have, now that Val's finally finished her fast test, we are trying to catch back up on some anime, and we finished the Insomniacs After School, and I gotta tell you, this was pretty darn good. I actually gave this an 8 on Mal, which I only had given to Hell's Paradise, which we're going to talk about next. But this turned out to be a real good one. This is another one of those like pretty realistic feeling anime about high school kids that is not like super over the top. And I think frankly everyone in this chat or in our call has probably had not insomnia, but has had those nights where you just cannot sleep.
Me last night. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, we talked about Call of the Night being like the vibe show of staying awake. This is like
this is the same vibe.
This is the real life version of, instead of being super stylized and vibey and vampires, this is the real version where it's I'm really tired. How do I cope with not sleeping at night and being miserable during the day? Well, I find somebody else who's in a similar boat and we try to make it work. So, honestly, it was really good. They really, and Freeman, I don't want to spoil anything, but this show really keeps you on the edge of your seat with, oh my God. What was the one Val referenced to? Your Lie in April?
Your Lie in April, where you spend the whole show going, is she terminally ill? I can't tell.
This show,
or is it the viewer who's terminally ill?
This show rides the same line of, what did she just mean when she said that? And then and then the female main character runs away after saying something that you're like, what did you just say to me? Like,
what the fuck did you just say to me?
Like, this isn't a spoiler. Pretty early on in the show, when they're starting to do this photography thing, when they're starting to get their astronomy club going, that's not really a spoiler. The cover art for the show shows a giant telescope. And she goes, you should take some pictures for when I'm gone. And then she just turns and runs away, and you're like, what the fuck was that?
Damn.
Honestly though, the show was really good. It's a really fun time. I'm appreciating this new era of romances that aren't over the top and that don't focus exclusively on the romance, and they actually have like another goal. It's not like Tonikawa's great because it's like, hey, this is such a cute them developing their relationship, but it's also nice to have a show like this that's like there is something building there, but they're not trying to force it, and they're also being friends. It's not just, I am romantic with you or not. It's like, no, there's actually a friendship that has romantic undertones, so it's like an actual connection kind of thing, which it was really good. Val and I both
Also,
really
she might be
it.
from the fucking moon, so...
Well, that's Tonikawa, but yeah, I mean, that's...
Well, I thought you were talking about...
No, I switched to Insomnia. Tonikawa's like, this is a couple learning to be a couple, and that's cute. Insomniacs is like, I have a problem, you have a problem, this bonds us and makes us friends, and then, oh shit, we're actually like pretty compatible, and we actually make each other's lives better, and this is actually turning romantic.
Sounds pretty hetero to me.
Yes, it
It
is.
is.
This is no Yuri on Ice, okay?
Mm.
Just pretty boys being gay for
I'm
each other.
surprised that Val's watching this then. What is this?
Well, it's about not being able to sleep at night, so Val can really tie in.
Reaching a
That's
relationship.
where. Okay, that
That's why Call of the Night got her. It wasn't just the
makes
vampires; it
sense.
was also the not sleeping.
Gotcha. See that?
Speaking
Makes
of not
sense now.
sleeping, I didn't want to sleep, and I would just want to watch new episodes of Hell's Paradise because this was outside of Vinland Saga. This was the show of the season.
Not gonna lie, I forgot it was only 13 episodes, and I made myself upset.
Yep,
I mean, we are getting a season 2. I just don't
doesn't
think they give, like,
matter.
a date or
Stop with
anything.
this split core shit.
Try to teach Mappa how to count to 24.
Freeman.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you know how they did? They just did it. Vinland Saga was just
Oh, fuck,
24.
my bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Actually, wait, hold on. How many episodes of Jujutsu going to be?
20. Not even
Oh, fuck.
24.
Or whatever. They can at least count past 12.
No, it's 23. Sorry, 23. That's what Mal says at least.
All right, I stand corrected.
Hell's
I'll take it back
Paradise?
immediately.
Banger opening, banger animation. I don't understand the people who say this animation isn't good. This show's gorgeous. I like the characters are great. The deaths are great. Honestly, like seeing a lot of characters die is awesome.
Yeah, it got a lot of shock value. It's pretty fucking wild. Characters that you think are gonna be around for a hot minute, all named.
Dude,
You think they're gonna be
Badass
around?
character's gone.
Right? They're dead.
This is not a spoiler. There is a character in episode 1 who you look at and you're like, holy shit, look at this main character interacting with other main characters. And then in episode 2, it's like, oh, they died off screen. Like,
Yep.
like that was, I still was waiting. Dude, part of me's still like, he's not actually dead. There's no way the character with like the cool tough guy eye patch and the clearly the teacher.
Damn, way to spoil it.
The guy who
doesn't
looks like
fucking
he's
matter.
Byakuya, but he's also Renji.
I was about to say literally
Yeah.
Byakuya or Renji.
Like, somehow he died off camera. Fuck you.
Wild. I
Yo,
do
it's
gotta
good,
say though, I love the show. I love the premise. The only thing that pulled me back, because I think I ended up scoring it an 8 or something, whereas like early on in the season I thought it was going to be 9 material, is they kind of blew the load on the mystery a little bit. Like a lot of the mystery of the islands was drawing me in, and by like maybe it's episode 10, I think they really just start to explain a lot. And it's not like the explanation's bad or it makes the plot any less good, but I think that just losing the mystery very early kind of hurt my impression of it. And it's a purely me problem.
I don't think you're wrong, Freeman, but I think at the same time we opened up other mysteries. Like in the last episode, the whole thing with Gabimaru's past.
Yeah.
And the revelations from the other chick. Like, I think, and the fact, like, if this was a 20-episode season, I think they could have finished the whole show, but the fact that there's a whole nother season makes me think there's more there than we know so far. Even though we have learned a ton, there's still a lot of dangling threads that I feel like could lead places. Like Bandit Boy, like what's going on with Bandit Guy? All of Gabimaru's stuff, obviously. And we still haven't met our characters haven't met most of the what are they called? The 7 people. They're
the Hashiras. Oh
the
no, sorry, no, you're
Hashiras.
talking about the not the swordsmen. The
Hashiras.
the weird gender fluid villains.
Yeah.
They're all voiced by the same guy.
Yo, who did I say? Did I tell this to you, Tim? Where I was like, I forgot who I was talking to about it, but I was like, yo, I don't want to hear your gender fluid unless you're one of these guys.
You did not say that to me.
Oh, I did. Who the fuck did I say it to? I think I was talking to my buddy because he was also watching Hell's Paradise, and I was just like, "Yo, I don't want to hear your gender fluid unless you can do this.
Unless you can literally fluid your gender."
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. This when I hear gender fluid, this is it. It's either this or nothing. It's nerf or nothing.
It's nerf or nothing.
But yeah, show's good though. I like it.
Yeah, no, I think it's really good. I'm really excited for this. It's a fight between this and Insomniacs for my new show of the season. I think this wins just because this has a season 2. Insomniacs is definitely just a one and done.
Was it like a conclusive ending to Insomniacs?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now I want to watch it.
Yeah, you should. But yeah, I think this is my for the season, probably my most hype new show. That's this is quality. I look forward to more quality. Mappa owned this season between this and Vinland Saga. It's
Yeah.
actually astounding to me that one studio put out both of those.
All while doing Jujutsu the next season.
Like how? I don't get. Like, do they just?
I'll
Well,
sway.
well, I don't want to get into the how because the how's really depressing. I'm sure. But you know what's not depressing? My Tim's dumb comedy of the season.
Let's go. Let's hear about this.
I wish I could just start singing the ending song. This song, this show, Mashal is so much fun. I know it's been memed to death. Putting One Punch Man in Harry Potter, where he uses muscles instead of magic to just flex on nerds. Like, it is so funny. So many jokes landed with me. Honestly, I only scored it a 7 because I can't act like this is some incredible piece of art. But this is the 7 that I was like, I can't wait for Mashal. Every Friday, we'd sit down and I would turn this on without her realizing I had booted it up. And I would just, like, there's a shot, Freeman, do you remember the intro at all before you dropped it?
I remember the intro.
There's a shot where the song really kicks in and it's him lifting the dumbbells like super fast, and as soon as that shot would come on, I would just turn to Val and I would start like miming doing dumbbell lifting, and she would just roll her eyes at me and I was just laughing along like with the intro. Oh my god, it's so much fun.
Did she make it all the way to the end, or did she drop it?
Yeah, no, she hate watched it all the way through.
Oh my god.
Damn.
I told her she doesn't have to watch season 2. Because this also got a season 2 confirmed. Apparently, this is actually a pretty short manga. So, like, some of the people on Reddit were saying, like, 3 more of, like, half-season length kind of things like this, or, like, 12 episodes, would probably finish this whole manga.
In January, confirmed? All right.
But honestly, this was perfect because the season before had Eminence and Shadow, then I had this, and
then we get Eminence next season.
Eminence is next season, so if I can find any kind of comedy or funny stuff in the current season, then I'm held over till Eminence comes back. But, like, I don't know what to say. Like, him, cream puff magic, where he just summons cream puffs. The first episode where a guy shoots magic missiles at him and he starts juggling the magic missiles. Playing Quidditch by kicking your feet so fast that you're flying in the air. Opening a giant magical door by prying a sword under it and then stepping on the sword and flinging the door through the roof. Just so many hilarious moments. This was my fun watch of the season. This is my season 1 of Misfit of Demon Academy. This is my Eminence and Shadow. This is just my comedy of the season. I love having this one dumb comedy that's really good. And I haven't started it yet, so that's why I'm not going to talk about it in a section. But I'm going to start Helk in the next few days, Friedman, because that seems to be the comedy of this season. So I'm going to start that on my own because I know Val's not going to have it in her to watch another one of my dumb comedies.
Yeah, say we're kind of light on comedies this season.
Helk is supposed to be funny, so I'm going to go with
that
Helk.
And the My Cat is Massive and at Home anime.
That
might be
doesn't
the only
seem like a
this
comedy,
season.
and I'm definitely not going to watch it. So either way, Helk's the only one I'll even try.
I don't know, man. Any show that has the themes adult cast is like worth looking at in my book, but I just don't have time for that one.
Tyler, why don't we take a break from anime to go through a bunch of movies though?
Yeah, so I watched a bunch of movies since I last spoke to you guys. A lot of these are fucking stupid. Like, you know what? Let me rephrase that. All of these are stupid. I watched this movie Sisu.
So Tyler, I had a friend who really wanted to watch Sisu. Was it not good? And wanted me to go with them a while ago, like when it was in theaters. Did you?
You might like it, Tim, just because of how ridiculous it is.
Wait a minute.
What? Listen, it is one of those movies that is just ridiculous. The premise is about this guy. He's an old vet. I think he's fuck, I forget where he's from. He's like from like that Norway, like Swedish, like one of those like countries. something like I don't know, I can't remember which one, but basically he was an old school badass, and it's one of those plots like those John Wick plots where oh he was a badass, they fucked with the wrong guy, and now they're all gonna die. Like it's one of those. Except it like takes it like the next level. Like I'll spoil a scene where he goes into a lake and everybody's like, "Yo, where the fuck is he? He's got to come up for breath." And they're like, "Yo, go in after him." Guy gets pulled like the Nazi gets pulled off his boat. The fucking guy slits his throat and then breathes in the air from his lungs out of his slit throat and just
Whoa.
stays there. And I'm like, this is so fucking ridiculous.
Oh my god, that's redonkulous. Wow.
Yeah, there's like some ultra violence in it, which like I'm totally fine with. Like I'm cool, but like it gets to a point where I'm just like, this is so fucking stupid.
Oh my
I was
god.
laughing throughout the entire movie, which I don't think I was supposed to laugh, but I thought it was hilarious. Um, so if you're into hyper violence, like action where uh Nazis die, then by all means go for it. I think what fucked it up for me was the Nazi thing has just been overplayed.
That's fair.
So I'm like kind of over it. Um yeah, if you have nothing else better to watch, like sure go for it. But I know a lot of people really liked it and they wanted me to watch it, and I didn't get to tell them that because I felt bad saying I didn't really like it. I think I gave it like a 3 on Letterboxd.
Let me check.
Which
CC.
is
Yeah.
that's out of 5 for context.
Yeah, out of 5 for content. Yeah, I gave it a 3.
Yes.
And then I also
Oh
watched, and I'm
god.
going in order. I watched Idiocracy.
Hell yeah, a comedy turned cautionary tale.
It is kind of funny because I'm like, damn, this might be real actually. For those of you who don't know, it's an older like comedy movie when comedy movies were like a thing. Like we're talking like irreverent comedies. Um, it's about these two people who get cryogenically frozen for a military experiment, and they wake up in the future where the mean intelligence is extremely low. We're talking like they're basically like, how do I say it? They're
Crayon
really
eaters.
dumb. They're really dumb. It's bad.
Hmm.
Like I was gonna say some fucked up shit, but not. We're gonna stay monetized hopefully. Um, I didn't like it. I gave it a 1.5 star.
Yeah, you did.
That shit did not age well, Freeman.
Really?
I like so
Maybe now I
like
gotta rewatch it because I've seen it so many times on Comedy Central that like I know all the story beats, but maybe when we talk about the next movie after these four, maybe
all right, listen. The
harder
one
for
thing
me.
I did laugh at though was buttfuckers because number one, I love fuddruckers. Number two, I always call it rutfuckers.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
my
afterwards I
god.
started to call it that too.
So I'm like, ha ha ha, buttfuckers. That's funny. But yeah, dude, it's so like I don't know, man. It because like and I'll get into some of these other movies that I watched too that were like early mid 2000s gems. And I laughed at one of these. But yeah, Idiocracy. I watched Idiocracy for the first time, and that might be a part of the problem because I didn't get any sort of like nostalgia out of them. Like it was, I
Okay.
just didn't think it was good at all. I don't think it aged well. Like the jokes, the setting, like, and I like irreverent jokes. Like I watch it, I still watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and they make really fucked up jokes all the time. So yeah, I don't recommend it. Um, Next up, I watched The Hot Chick.
Oh good lord.
That's a movie I laughed, dude. I was like, this movie did not age well. The jokes are not that great. Why am I laughing my ass off? It's because Fridays, sometimes we'll watch movies. Like if we're in the Discord, we have nothing else better to do. It's a weekend. We're staying up late. Like, oh, let's watch a fucking dumbass movie. And so, one Friday, I think it was like a week or two ago, we started like I don't know who picked it, but like someone was like, "Yo, we're watching The Hot Chick." Uh, Quick summary of this: Rob Schneider swaps bodies with with a teenage girl.
Oh no.
I feel like that one South Park episode where they're making fun of Rob Schneider bits.
Rob Schneider. And,
Rob Schneider, is it the hot chick?
Well, this is basically that though. It's true. But yeah, she swaps bodies with somebody, and it's kind of funny. What's her face? Rachel McAdams. He swaps bodies with Rachel McAdams from Mean Girls.
Oh, I forgot it was her that he swaps with.
Yeah, I'm almost positive they picked her for Mean Girls after they watched Hot Chick. Because I think Mean Girls came out in 2004 or something like that. Something like that. But yeah, that which also Mean Girls that's a 5-star movie. It's a 5-star movie. I don't think I rated Hot Chicks, but I definitely liked it. Or not Hot Chicks, Mean Girls.
Yeah, I'm curious
Have
what
you seen
your
Mean Girls,
current
Tim?
rating is.
If I have, I don't remember it.
Oh, I love
Damn.
that movie.
Yeah, that movie's great. Yo, we should do a boys' night watching Mean Girls.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
You don't even go here.
You don't even go here. It's not my fault to have a wide I have you flowing a wide set vagina.
There's so many banger lines in that.
There's so many lines, dude. It's great.
The limit does
Oh
not.
my.
Anyway,
What?
the limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist.
Alright.
October 13th fucks me up every time though.
Between
Because they do the side by side.
the Fullmetal Alchemist date.
Yeah.
Yeah, forever tied together. It's like the Barbenheimer of a previous generation.
It really is, dude. It's fucking great. All right.
Let's
And
keep rolling.
yeah, and then the last one, which was terrible. That was also a 1.5 star. I watched with the next day we watched Torque. It was basically like a producer was like, "Yo, what if we just made Fast and the Furious but with motorcycles?"
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was really bad. As you can probably tell, it did not take off because there's not a bajillion of them. It has an average score of 2.4 stars, which is like extremely low on Letterboxd. There was one review on here.
Do you feel like Letterboxd trends more towards like big movie fans who rate these shit movies low?
I honestly think it is for movie snobs for real. And then there's some meme lords who like will rate it high. Like they gave it, like one person on this gave it a 5-star and a like. Like yeah, I know for a fact this ain't a 5-star movie. Like, but then you got people like me who like will rate like bullshit and be like, this movie's great. Like I think I rated like I almost said Perfect Dark, Pitch Black like a 4 when it definitely does not deserve it. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna go into Torque because it's just straight bad. Like, it's not like Idiocracy where I know people like Idiocracy. Like Torque is just straight bad. Like you ask anybody, like no one likes Torque.
If you had,
I don't even know why the fuck we watched it.
If you had to choose between Torque and like the early Fast and Furious movies, which would you?
Early Fast and Furious movies.
All right.
So which isn't really much of like a competition because I will be like, yo, I'm down to watch the first Fast and the Furious movie. Like hands down.
We should watch that because I still haven't seen any of them besides like Tokyo Drift, which I watched.
Bro,
as part of a joke.
we can watch the first. We can watch them, you know, like fucking racing the fucking Eclipse. Yo, that RX-7. That before I knew of the Takashi brothers like RX-7s, like I knew Dom Toretto's RX-7. That shit was fucking fire.
Hell yeah.
But okay, yeah, we can move on from these shitty movies.
Then onto a less shitty movie. Inception. So listeners, all right, I'll dox myself here. Sunday was my birthday, and with our group hanging out, we couldn't play D&D, but we do still have Tim and Val's list of 100 classic movies that we occasionally pull from when we need movies to watch. And I noticed Inception was on that list. And 10 years ago, Inception was like my favorite movie. I watched the shit out of it. I saw it in theaters twice. I bought it on Blu-ray and showed literally everyone I knew, so I watched it like 9 times in the span of 2 months. I loved this movie, and I hadn't seen it since then. So we watched it on Sunday. I realized Inception's not as good as I remember. It's still a good movie. But like, it's nowhere near as good as I hyped it up.
You're a fucking liar, bro. Listen, I haven't watched this movie in 5-6 years. It still is good.
Don't get me wrong, I still love the movie, but like there were certain bits, like the one shot where oh my god, what's his name? I don't remember the character's name, but not the actor. Eames is like, you have to dream bigger, and he just pulls out this like grenade launcher. and then he just kind of puts it down and walks away. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt kind of looks at him, looks not quite at the camera, and just shrugs and walks away. And I like, there's just like a couple shots that are just almost too goofy, like you wouldn't do them in a present day movie. And it's definitely just Nolan being like, let me direct this little quirky action movie. But it still has its charm. It's still good, and I would still watch this movie again. But I don't know if I'm going to call it my favorite movie anymore.
Damn.
Fair.
It's still great. Unless you haven't seen Inception, go watch this movie. It's definitely the least confusing of the Nolan confusion trilogy.
Are you sure it's not Batman?
Well, I regard Tenet, Inception, and Memento as the Nolan confusion trilogy, where it's just movies that are designed to make you just like question what the fuck you're watching.
True.
As opposed to Batman, which is
definitely the
trilogy.
best of those three. You're not wrong there.
Yeah. Yeah, still go watch it. And then we'll just blitz through some more stuff. I'm gonna talk about two animes you probably shouldn't watch. First one, Reincarnated as a Vending Machine. This one, like, all right, it sounds stupid. I know, because it is stupid. Dude loves vending machines. He's driving behind one. It starts falling off a truck. Instead of doing what a normal person would do and try and swerve out of the way, he says, "Oh no, that vending machine is going to fall," and tries to stop from falling. It crushes him. He dies, and he reincarnates as the vending machine. So all of episode 1, he's this vending machine in the middle of an open field in an isekai world. And what's interesting about this show is that everyone who reads the synopsis, like the main character is going to do nothing. It's just the story is happening around them. Wrong. If you played the game Recettear, where half the game is a dungeon crawl, the other half is like you're managing a shop. From the main character's perspective, he just loves vending machines. So he's trying to figure out, how do I continue to function as a vending machine in this world? What stock do I need to offer? What magic skills do I need to make sure that me as a vending machine don't get destroyed in this dungeon, and that someone can find me and buy, hopefully, products from my inventory? So he's got this whole upgrade system and shit. Honestly, I don't want to go too much into depth with it, but if you watch the first episode of Slime, the same way they explain like the ability system in Slime, they explain it for this like money system in the vending machine show. And I watched the second episode yesterday. It's certainly interesting. It's a cool take on the isekai show. After watching episode 2, I really doubt this show is going to be that amazing. But I'm curious. It's certainly unique. I'll give it that much. I don't know. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Believe
it's a goofy
that.
show. I'll get back to you guys. This might be the sleeper hit. This might be peak isekai, and then I stop watching them. But I doubt that. Next one, Tim and I watched the roast of it on YouTube, but I've actually seen episode 1 of The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. Despite Studio Gohan's being like famous for dumb camera angles, I think it's fine. The plot of the show is just this guy sits in the protagonist seat and the girl next to him needs glasses to see, and she just keeps forgetting them. So she has to get close, and normal, pseudo romance shit happens. But the problem with this show is that a majority of it happens in the back corner of this classroom. It's the same problem that Teasing Master Takagi-san had, where it's just every shot looks the same because it's just them sitting in the corner, like, talking in class. So what does Studio Gohan's decide to do? Any shot that isn't the two of them standing in class together is this, like, 10 out of 10 camera spinning Avengers shot that's also shot super low to the ground. It's weird. I personally enjoy it because, like, I'm not gonna lie, it looks bad. But I enjoy how creatively bad it looks. Kind of weird.
Creatively bad.
Overall, I think the romance is kind of cute. I think it's going to evolve past main characters flipping on episode 1. I still need to watch episode 2. But you probably won't hear about it from me until the end of the season. But the next show, you're going to hear about it from me every single week. So, Jobless Reincarnation is back. And I almost want to say it's better than ever, except it has a problem. So, Rudy's growing up this season, and I'm just going to spoil a very minor plot point from episode 1 and 2. But he still has Roxy's panties. And in episode 2, he has a shrine to them in his hotel room.
All right, you're losing me already.
If you cut this 3-second shot of his shrine to these fucking panties out of the episode, this season would be perfect. But it's got to have these little reminders that Rudy is weird. And I read the justification that Rudy has nothing left of his world from before the calamity happened. Like, this little thing is all he's holding on to. And honestly, it's horseshit because he still has his staff, which is also a gift from his master. But honestly, I just wish it wasn't so creepy. The show is otherwise amazing. The animation's been phenomenal. Rudy's character development outside of his panty obsession is great. It just has that teeny tiny thing holding it back from me being able to recommend this to people unironically.
I'll say that's funny because that is also a teeny tiny thing that is keeping me back
From watching it all.
from watching it at all. Yeah.
Look, I still think the show is good despite that weird plot line to it. Rudy's like outside of the panties, Rudy's development episode 1 was phenomenal. His story in episode 2, absolutely great. Animation stellar. The fights are cool. But there's this weird panty thing going on. Whatever. I'll leave it at that. Go watch Devil's Reincarnation.
I think episode 2 was really good, and yeah, if you can look past just that thing, honestly, it was pretty darn good.
It's just such a stupid
I'm also watching. Did episode 3 come out, Freeman?
No, 2 came out on Sunday.
Okay. So So when you say 2, do you mean the second one with Rudy or just the second one?
Oh, sorry.
overall?
Episode 0, the one about what's her name? Sylphie? I forget what her new name is now.
Okay,
but like
that's what I
that
mean.
aired as a separate episode 0, and it's a different entry on my anime list. So
that's why I
even
have,
Crunchyroll's
shit, I have it
tracking
marked wrong.
Yeah, even Crunchyroll's tracking it as an episode 0. So
That's why. Shit, I have Mal marked wrong. Thank you for telling me that, because now I know that I marked Mal wrong.
All right, no problem. Yeah, so I'll keep using like the real series numbers. I think that's how Crunchyroll's numbering.
Yeah,
it
there's
too.
episode 0. Okay, I'll just give it like a 7. I don't care.
Yeah, it's hard to rate this because it's just an extension of the
One
season.
episode that's just.
I'm
like,
gonna
hey.
yeah. Whatever the season ends up scoring, I'm just gonna retroactively score that episode with it too. All right, moving on. We got Jujutsu Kaisen is back this season. I've only seen episode 1 of this, so don't spoil it for me. But going
Yeah, I
episode
need to
1,
watch that too.
my other friend was like whining about the animation, so
They're
I went
wrong,
in.
It's good.
I went in nervous, and they were right. This episode looks disgusting, but no, I'm joking. They were blowing it up out of proportion. The CG is not bad. It's just noticeable, and I think that might be what they're picking up on. But if you're like us and you watch as many shows that use CG, like you can pick out when it's bad, when it's good, and when it doesn't matter. And I think the CG was honestly kind of good. Like, yes, the shots were a little wonky, but they weren't bad. Like, they did stand out to you, like, whoa, something weird is happening with like the background here, but it still looked good.
I think it looked great. I don't agree with the complaints. I think it looked awesome, and I'm super excited to keep watching.
Yeah, honestly, if every CG show had CG like this, I wouldn't be whining about it anymore. I'll put it that way.
Like, the intro looks great, just so much of it looks awesome. Like, across the board, I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good season. The only problem with this arc is my favorite character, Toto, won't be in it.
Oh, no.
Your favorite character?
My favorite character.
Jesus Christ.
He's my besto friendo.
Besto friendo.
But yeah, no, he'll be in the second half of the season. All right, let's keep rolling. So, Fate Strange Fake. For anyone who's out of the loop, I talked about this way back in January because it was supposed to come out on New Year's. Fate Strange Fake is another light novel in the Fate franchise, and this particular entry in the franchise has the Marvel problem, where it almost relies on you having seen too many other Fate media to appreciate this show, to understand who Waver is from Fate Zero, but then also know why he's a teacher from Fate Stay Night, but then also know who his students are from watching The Case Files of Lord Elmaloy II, but then also understanding why his student's servant, Jack the Ripper, differs from Jack the Ripper from Fate Apocrypha, but then also having played Fate Grand Order to understand why Gilgamesh and Enkidu are at each other's throats. There's, like, you need to be, like, knee deep in Fate to get what's going on here, and it's almost bad. Now, thankfully,
Almost.
I am balls deep in Fate, so this was like the best thing to watch. I knew every reference, I knew who every character was, I knew everything going on. This 1 hour special that was originally, it was only supposed to be a 1 hour special, that was it, is now being made into a full series to absolutely no one's surprise. This happens every time Fate does a 1 hour special. But it's not Studio Ufotable working on it. The animation looks crazy. I am beyond hyped for whenever this season starts.
Oh my god, could we finally find someone who isn't Ufotable who Freeman will accept making good-looking Fate?
Damn.
Well, all right. look, the fake Grand Order anime sucks. Cloverworks, like, quite literally has one face they use for every character. If you remove every character's hair, it's the exact same face. So fuck Cloverworks. They phoned it in for fake Grand Order. But Strange Fake is gonna be good. It just sucks that I can't recommend the show to anyone because it's like I don't know how much you're gonna appreciate without understanding like why half the characters are trying to kill each other. The one thing I will say though is it takes place in America, and the American Mage Association straight up kills people with guns a lot in the first episode.
I
Hell
just
yeah,
imagine
brother.
Tyler's ears go up and go, huh? What?
Oh, what is
Like,
it? Guns?
like there's a scene with like an old man from Britain and like some kid from America, and he's like whining about like you Americans are doing it wrong. Like why is there a fake Grail War happening here? And then the kid goes like, oh, because I started. He's like, you what? And then immediately from the forest they're in, just like a firing line just pops up, and you're like, wow, that was pretty intense. Except he tries to kill 2 more people with the same method of just hiding his firing line in the woods and then talking to someone near the woods. Like it's so goofy, but I love it.
God damn.
Maybe
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
It's look, if you got an hour to kill and you don't really give a shit, it's Fate. It looks cool. There's guns.
Nah, is it gonna be my boy from Fate Zero though? Forgot his name.
What
Why am I?
Waver?
Even though I've watched it twice now.
Nah, like Waver is in this, but Waver is not in the Grail War.
Hmm.
Instead, his overpowered protagonist student is in it.
Does he have bullets made from his bones too?
No. We have all right. So we haven't. There are characters who are as cool as the idea of bullets made from bones, but no, I don't even know if you'd call him a protagonist because like it's we haven't met the protagonist yet. She shows up for like the last 6 seconds of this 1 hour episode. We'll meet her in episode 2, I guess.
Ah, well,
I
all
don't know.
right.
You might like it.
I'll wait on you.
All right. I mean, it's a 1 hour special that's meant to be just like watched alone. So if you want to watch like the same thing, remember with Fate Zero it has that 1 hour special where it's like let's set up a Grail War.
True.
That's the plot of this, except Gilgamesh has like a top tier power level fight at the end of the first episode.
Okay.
So it's worth killing an hour over. Anyway, but is it worth killing an hour? And by an hour, I mean like 40 hours over playing Final Fantasy 16.
Absolutely not, because I was just about to say, I'm like, yo, I don't know, I might be killing that hour playing Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I need to get deeper in this game. So listeners, both Tyler and I are playing through Final Fantasy 16 right now. Obviously, Tyler's way further along than I am because I just can never sit down for these games anymore.
Obvi.
I gotta say though, I'm enjoying it. The game's beautiful. It handles great, but like maybe I'm just buying into the same concerns everyone else has. That this almost doesn't. I would say it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy, but like it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy, and I don't know what it is.
Well,
Like tone wise, it feels like Final Fantasy 14.
I was gonna say, so is it the dark fantasy? Is it the heavy like British Scottish accents? Is it the fact that it feels more like Game of Thrones than anything? Just
Yeah,
with
having
hard magic.
a scene of what's her name? Garuda's uh not bearer, what the fuck are they called?
What, her dominant?
Dominant, yeah. She just has like this whole scene where she just had sex with the king and like they're having
Yeah,
this conversation. I'm just like, damn, this is pretty risque for Final Fantasy.
dude, they dropped the F-bomb so many times.
Yes,
I love
I
it.
was not expecting that either.
I love it so much. Dude, and then there's the end of that section of Clive just killing his team. That shit's wild.
Yeah. I
And
think
like,
maybe
yeah, that is a spoiler for like the opening part of the game, I guess, but like that really kind of drew me. Like, I think that was the end of the demo.
Oh, I just skipped the demo because I waited so long to start playing.
Yeah, it was the so the demo is basically up until I think he finds Jill, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but like that it was pretty much like that was the beginning.
Well, so it's
But
basically
yeah,
a tutorial.
yeah. So I'm like, yo, this fucking game is gonna be wild. I'm gonna cry so hard by the end of this game. It's gonna be fucking sick. Listen, I've said this. It's a 10 out of 10 if it makes me cry. Don't care how garbage it is. If it makes me cry, 10 out of 10.
I don't know. I have to give 15 a 10 out of 10 with that standard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. For
that
real.
one got to me, even though I don't think that game's a 10 out of 10.
Same. I no. I agree with you. It's not a objective 10 out of 10, but for just Tyler, it's 10 out of 10. I literally cannot listen to that fucking song. Was it I showed Michelle because I was stupid and I showed Michelle that song a couple weeks ago.
Damn.
I was like, yo, I can't like listen to Stand By Me by Florence and the Machine without crying. And so she's like, is this it? And then she looked back and I was literally in tears.
Oh my god.
Aw.
I was like, I hate this.
I do got to
I
say
hate
that maybe I'm not paying close enough attention, but like one of the things that I love about Final Fantasies is the battle theme. And like I don't know if there's been a battle theme and I'm just not paying attention to it, but I don't there's not one that's standing out to me in this game.
All right, listen, you gotta understand. You gotta understand, Freeman, that you're not playing Final Fantasy anymore.
Oh, sorry, I'm playing Devil May Cry. I forgot.
You're
My bad.
literally playing Devil May Cry.
Well, even then, Devil May Cry had like the song Devil Trigger in 5. That was just like anytime I'm in
Oh, my
combat, I hear the
Devil
greatest
Trigger.
bop in existence.
Like,
Um,
there are some parts in here that are clearly like, this is literally Devil May Cry.
yeah.
Which I'm not. You know what? That being said,
You
like
trying to
my
talk bad
my
about Devil May Cry?
my turn to say, yeah, right. My turn to say something. I understand how people feel. That being said, I don't feel any sort of that way. Like, I'm really liking this game. My only problem is so far, I think it's too easy. So
I have
far.
heard that complaint in other
So
places.
I had one fight where I'm fighting was it Garuda's guard? I think I was just fighting
Benedicta?
yeah, Benedicta. And I got like I'm on her last health bar. She's got like an eighth of her health left, and I finally run out of potions. And I'm like, all right, I can definitely dodge all this. I can definitely win. And then I die. I'm like, damn, this was like a 20-minute fight. How much is my gonna have to fight? And it picks me back up from her like quarter health left, except it restocked all my potions. And I was just like, oh damn.
Damn.
All right, I guess I'm gonna win this effortlessly.
I'm gonna be
No,
real with you. I never lost potions.
damn, I'm bad at video games.
I think I died once, and that's because because sometimes I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes I like stop paying attention. Like I kind of just check out and like just like I don't like press buttons necessarily, but I'm just like okay, like I go through the motions kind of. And like this one fight in particular, I think it was against like a mark where I literally just stopped paying attention. I was like having a full conversation with Michelle, and I died. I was like, oh shit.
Eh,
And so I
Yeah,
reloaded and I actually paid attention and I beat it and I didn't even use a potion. I'm like, okay.
damn. Most of mine is just I'm terrible at timing dodges in this game. But I think my biggest issue is, and I wish they had a way to do this, is when you're fighting a lot of enemies, it zooms in on Clive's back, so you see who you're fighting 1v1. And like you can choose to unlock the camera and turn it around, but like I wish I could zoom out the camera so I could just see what's around me while I'm fighting. Because like if I got to deal with 3 enemies, I don't really want to be like locked into my one-on-one duel with this one random grunt. Like I want to know that the boss is behind me charging up his like instant kill attack.
Yeah, there are
So
some like mechanical things that I find a little bit weird.
that's like pretty much my only real
I don't know, did you
concern.
put the charm on where where Clive can automatically dodge?
No, I heard everyone complaining about it, and I immediately like unequipped all of the like auto dodge, auto attack, auto everything
Honestly, I left
stuff.
it on, but I
No
was
wonder it's
thinking of
too
taking it
easy.
off. Why else? But even like the timing, because like there's even a move where
Oh, the
you
perfect
probably
timing.
saw it where like it increases the time. Like I don't need the charm. I can take off the charm if I really wanted to, and I would still have an easy time with this game.
You should take off the charm and tell me it's still easy.
Okay, I'll take it off.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll do it. So I don't forget, I'll take it off now. But I've kept the same two charms on from the beginning of the game, and that's I ordered the game on the wrong day. I thought I bought it on the day it came out, but I had Michelle buy it, like purchase it for me, like with my card, obviously, like the day before. And so I got the pre-order bonuses, and
Okay,
both of them are one of them is get 20% extra XP point, EXP, and then the other one was gain 10% more gil.
damn.
Which honestly, I feel like I don't need gil in this game. I don't think I spent like more than like 5,000 gil, and that
No,
was like on a single thing.
I think ability points are the big like gate in this game.
Yes, and I got, and that's the third thing I bought later on in the game. someone sells an artifact to get more ability points, and I'm like, I immediately
Yep,
threw
that's the
that
one you
on.
want.
Like
Yeah.
immediately.
All right, we've been on this for a while. Listeners, we enjoy this game. We have different concerns about it, but generally speaking, we're both having a great time with this. Go play this game.
Yes. Go play. Go be sad with us.
These sad boys together.
Sad boy. Oh yeah. Another movie. Oh yeah, these last two are me. This is another movie I watched. I singled this out from the other ones because this is actually a good movie. Not only is it a good movie, this
Oh,
is
what movie is this?
I'll say this is something this is the suspense. An actually good, well animated Netflix thing that's not just arcane.
No, I mean,
Nimona. It's a new Netflix movie about this knight who partners up with this shape shifting girl, and they go on wacky adventures. I'm totally like underselling this.
why does this art style look so familiar?
I don't know who does it.
Is there a game with characters like this?
No. At least I don't think so.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, if you're into like cutesy, like, I don't know, like animated shit, like it's also kind of funny too. I would give it a try. It's a lot of fun. Tim, I think if you and Val watch this, I think it would be good.
I want to. I
Let
think it looks good.
Yeah, Leslie gave like high praises for
Leslie was
this,
like over
and
the moon about how this was.
yeah, Michelle and I both really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4. Yeah, I gave it a 4 on Letterboxd. I enjoyed it. Mostly for the animation than anything. It was just a lot of fun. And I said I can go into a lot of the things, but I'm not just for the sake of time. But I like it. You should watch it. Um, and then the last thing, I finally finished a book after not finishing a book for a few months. Um, oh wait, I forgot to mention the other ones. I listened to 4 books since then. Completely forgot because Audible had a fucking big ass sale, and I bought the last arc of like Temporary books. But I'll talk about the physical one that I read, and that's Project Hail Mary by Andy Ware, whatever. It's about this fucking guy who goes off into space and he has amnesia and he doesn't know why he's there. And then he slowly learns that he is there to try to save Earth from some kind of like weird extraterrestrial like um, algae thing that is slowly eating away the sun.
That's not good.
It's Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a good premise. It took a very unexpected turn about like a quarter of the way through for the good. And it ended it pretty well. I actually read this, so my company does like a book club, and usually it's all garbage. Like they usually pick like shit like from Jodi Picoult or some shit like that. And I think I mildly had like a hand in picking this because I talked to the girl who like runs it, uh, and I think last year we were talking about. She's like, I want to put this on, and I'm like, yo, why don't you? And she's like, people just aren't into science fiction like that around here. You know how it is. Like, most of these people want to just like read their crime or whatever. I was like, nah, we should mix it up for once. And she's like, you know what? Maybe I will. And so this happened. So I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a read. And it was actually very good. It was really good. I highly recommend it to anybody who's into sci-fi. Um, I'm still working through Temeraire. This is about the dragon. I think I talked about that. I'm like on the last book. I'm not liking the last book, so I'm not gonna talk about it much. But the newest old find though, um, listeners might know it because it's apparently a super popular fantasy series. Um, but it's called the First Law series. And man, this shit's a banger. But like I said, I'm trying to keep it small. But
Wait,
like,
are you at the start of the series, or you're like midway through it?
I finished the second book already. Like I blitzed through both of them because I thought they were great. Like, and they were
Wow.
both about 20 hours a pop.
Damn.
Yeah, like these were not like light books at all. They're very good. This is like, oh my god, like it's kind of like light on the fantasy, but like it's pretty cool. It has like, I will say it's one of those books that aren't like, if you like your characters that like be like kind of like the good guy, or even if they can be kind of morally ambiguous, like even that's fine. Like no, like these main characters really aren't that morally ambiguous. In fact, they're all kind of assholes. Like they're not like your quote like, you know, good guys. They're all kind of shitters.
Damn.
Yeah, but the author does a very good job um at making you root for them while at the same time reminding you after their small victory how much of a dickhead they are, and I love it. Like there's this one character who like for literally half the book he is training to win this fencing tournament, right? And like the whole time, like he talks mad shit because he's a highborn and all that. And then like he talks about like, you know, how much he struggles to like get through everything and how much of a struggle it was to finally win. And then he's like, "Why are you doing this again?" Like, "Oh yeah, I just want to be important. I just want to have women fawn over me." And I'm like, "Oh yeah,
Huh.
this guy." But it's good though. Like especially like getting into the second book, the characters really start to kind of come out and get really good character development. I really like the characters and how they're done. The world is kind of like whatever, but I'm really like listening to it for the story and the characters for sure. So yeah, I highly recommend the first Law series so far. At least the two books that I read. It's broken up. It's weird. I didn't realize what it was. Is it's broken up into, it has a trilogy, and so I'm currently listening to, like, I'm at the last book of that first trilogy. Then there's some short stories, and then there's a second trilogy that just finished up back in like 2019. The first book came out in like 2004.
Wow.
Yeah, is good. I don't know if I'd recommend it to you, Tim,
I,
but I
I need
do.
to I
I
need to get
might
ready to read
recommend.
Red Rising in a week. So
Oh my God, Red Rising comes out next week.
you're the one who
Fuck.
told me that.
That's right. I keep forgetting. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have a problem. I'm gonna have to like try to finish. So I'm right now I'm reading I told you guys about the Brandon Sanderson like Kickstarter or
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
So Michelle finally, there was a backlog of putting these books out, and Michelle got in super late, and so I got the second book like basically the second week they started shipping these out, and she just got her second book, so now we're reading through the second book. It's called The Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England.
Oh, that's a
uh,
great name.
oh, it's a great name, and depending on how this ends I might recommend it to you, Tim. It's about this guy who travels to a version of medieval England, but he's from like the far future though.
Hmm.
So like that's the premise. Like he's in this like section of England, but he has like cybernetic enhancements. And so he's trying to like grift his way through everything pretending that he is a wizard when really he's just like cybernetically enhanced.
Huh.
Yeah. Um and then the third book came out, so I have that one, but you know, but after Frugal Wizards, or I might do like a double. I might like, cuz Michelle and I read the books at the same time, and like we'll be like, okay, we'll read like 100 pages or like 120, however much we feel right. But I might try
Oh.
to blitz through that. Yeah, haha. I know. I might blitz through this just so I can like read as much as the next Red Rising as I can. Dude, that's gonna be a chonker book, dude. It's like gonna be as
Yeah.
big as Dark Ages. Like I'm talking over 750 pages.
Holy shit.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be a lot.
it's a big one. A big
I
one.
just, as we're sitting here and as you were talking, I pre-ordered it, so it'll go on my Kindle next. It's a week from today, Tyler. It's Tuesday next week is Red Rising, so.
Damn, that's a bad day for me because that's the day I'm coming back from LPI. So I don't know how much I'm gonna start reading it, but I'll do my best.
I gotta remember to have my Kindle charged and ready to go. Oh no, I'm sick today.
Damn. Yeah, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should just take off an extra day on Wednesday. Start just so I can start reading Red Rising. All right, yeah, no, that's it. I know I talked a lot,
That's
so
fine. You had a lot of stuff. That's fine.
I
As we all
forgot that I
did.
had a lot of stuff.
All
But
right,
yeah,
let's wrap this up.
yeah,
I
we're wrapping
think-
up. Watched and played.
I think we've done everything. So, yeah. We'll be back in a few weeks at some unknown point in the future to talk about whatever happened in that time. But until next time, my name is Timpedia.
I'm Friedman.
Just Tyler.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for listening.